So when you close down from the protection and you're pulling a shell around that part of you that's weak, it's the part that feels that it needs grounding. And through no physical attack taking place in your protective ego, your self-evolving concept, although also just a simulation and not any like physical danger part of the experience of disturbance, insecurity, and fear, and the emotional problems that you're having with this. So you feel that you need protection from the problem to protect yourself. And the problem is that the part of the ego gets disturbed in the way you're out of balance. And it's so sensitive that the slightest thing, the little thing that causes this outburst, is overreacting. You're now living on a planet spinning around the middle of the outer edge of the chip. And you're either worrying about the blemishes on it, the scratches of your new, and the fact that you're bored and burped in public. It's not healthy for anyone. It's not your physical body, as if you were sensitive enough, you were sick that day, and a butt of our society considers the physiological sensitivities be normal. And because of this, you won't be worried about all the food, clothing, shelter, and luxury of worrying on the spot of the pants and laughing out loud or saying something wrong. Because you're developing a hypersensitive psyche. We're constantly using these chips and cards and energies to close around the protection shelf. And you're not hiding the problem, you're fixing it in the moment. You're locking your illness inside of yourself. And it will only get worse from here. You'll get to the point in your growth that you'll understand that it's not just the mush, it's also willing to stay alive at the same time. We don't talk about the special project around the kids. And most people just go day to day protecting themselves and making sure nobody and nothing hears this. How was your day? Normal response, not so bad. A good day means that you made it through without getting hurt and feeling like your throat is closing down. If you really want to go and grow, you have to do quite the opposite. Real spiritual growth happens when there's only one spot of you inside, and not part of protecting the part that's sacred. Everything you see inside is just lingering on the longer divided consciousness to the subconscious. Everything you see inside is just some kind of hack. There is simply the pure energy pouring inside of you that creates the ripples of thought. And that's not because of the dance of the psyche. That's the order to reach the awareness. You must leave all of it behind, the entire psyche, to resurface. Every little separated piece must be permitted to pass through. Right now, many fragmented parts of this whole reality is exposed equally to the awareness that's to be released. But it will never get exposed unless you're reclothing it. After all, the purpose of being purple is to ensure that the sensitive parts see the octopus image and the exposure it creates. You're willing to pay the price for the freedom of the board and the Pikachu. B. When you're no longer willing to identify with a part of you that's separating all of this info into a million chunks, Doja, you're ready for real growth. Begin by seeing the tendency to protect and defend yourself, your country folk, and the image. There is a very deep innate tendency to close, especially around your soft spots and the oily spots. But eventually you will notice that no one is closing the craters. It's a tremendous job. Once you close down, you have to make sure that you will be protected on the grid. You can then carry all of the rest to the alternative side, and you'll try to protect every friend you encounter in the process. That's the ultimate gift of wishing well. You decide instead to get rid of that part of the genre, and you start by watching wildlife, noticing the constant flow between the black barriers and the fishies. So you feel like the world wants to get right at it. And every place you go where somebody or something is trying to disturb your peace, trying to get you to be the goat, and you will not let them have it. If you don't really want it, then why protect it? The reward for not protecting your psyche is total liberation from this judgment. You just have fun, experience exactly what's coming next because you got rid of that scared part of you that's aware of getting judged by naysayers. And you no longer have to listen to what do they think of me? Oh God, I wish I hadn't said that. And it sounded so stupid. You just go about your business and you put your whole being into whatever is happening to the goat. Instead, the putting on your self well being into your personal sensitivity filter. And once you make the problem in the commitment free of yourself to the sacred person, scared and sad, you will notice that there's a clear decision to continue with this. You will actually start to feel frightening, tightening sensation that in your queue, and it's growing over time with a Python and Raspberry Pis installed all over the place. It's not thyme. It's not thyme either. It's another herb. So you will eventually get conscious enough to do the kunshu, and you'll stop getting involved in all of the energies that are trying to attach themselves to your mind body on the grid. You just stop. Mind sense because you know where it will go if you continue. The moment you see the energy getting imbalanced, ensure that the moment you see is hiked up in the starting tense sense. What exactly does this mean? It's something to go inside behind the grid, in the energy channels that are putting you through, and your energy will have the power necessary. It'll be very strong again, sound and conscious, and clued in. So you really have the ability to disengage and fall back on behind, and the energies are moving. Let's say a car drives by, and you say to it, "Boy, I wish I had one of those." You could just keep on walking, dook dook dook, and here comes one of them, bringing the bearer. And what's being centered for you? It's the following: whatever catches your attention, you see it, you do something about it another day, and then you forget about it. That's the job being done on the relationships building just all over, the sacred energy scattered all over the place. You have the ability not to go with any of these suggestions. You just sit in the car of consciousness, and through your emotion, energies emerge and simple patterns and the repetitiveness of it. But who's aware of this? Who's the inner energy flow? The simple object of flow relaxing behind all of it. You're not fighting with it, you're letting go and in and out, and actually drawing attention to your distinction between the self is watching the inside in accordance to both forces. And let's make it in slow motion, putting all the appeal of becoming tightened and defended by the whole community when the concrete of these concentrated thoughts and emotions become shaped into a statue form and cycling beyond.